Hello guys, it's John here from the Body Engineers, and in today's workout I've got a upper body dumbbell workout. All we need for this workout is some dumbbells, a mat, and that's pretty much it. Maybe a chair for support or something, or even a bench, and that would be perfect. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a quick little warm-up, just warming up some of the specific muscles and movements that we're going to be doing in the program. Then I'm going to show you the exercises we're going to do. So we're doing it in a format of 4 rounds, 50 seconds for each exercise, 15 seconds rest. Then you get a little break. We're going to do that 2 times, and then we'll go into the next series of exercises, which again is going to be 4 exercises, 50 seconds work, 15 seconds rest. So to start with, what we're going to do is do just some quick warm-ups for the upper body using a band. So if you have a band, that'd be great. If you don't, it doesn't matter too much. You can still do it without the band. So first of all, we're going to do some scapular retraction. So this movement is really important for when you're doing a row and also when you're doing a press as well. So scapular retraction is when you're basically squeezing your shoulders together like this. So if you have your arms straight, you're squeezing them right together, and you could do it from the side as well. It doesn't really matter where you have your arms. It's actually harder when the arms are in front versus at the side where you're just trying to bring them together. So what we're going to do is just going to use a band to do the scapular retractions with, and just to provide a little bit of resistance. So you're just having the arms straight out in front, and then you're just driving the shoulders back together, squeezing the shoulders together, and then letting the band bring your shoulders forward and then back. So you're just warming up the shoulders and the scapular retractors. So you can just gradually start to do this a little bit faster and even with a bit more, and you could even do a row like this. So you're just squeezing the shoulders together, and you can keep the arms straight and then let them go forward. Squeeze, straight, with the arms straight, squeeze the shoulders together and then let them go forward. So we'll do that for a few more seconds. So this is just a really good exercise to do to warm up the back muscles. And then the next exercise we're going to do is a humeral adduction. So this is where you're just going to be at approximately 90 degrees to the band. And then what we're going to be doing is trying to target your chest muscle. So for this one, you want to retract the shoulders first, which is why we did that retraction one first. And then you're just bringing the arm across, keeping just a slight bend in the elbow and not bending it as you bring it across. So if you retract first with one shoulder and then bring the arm across, and you should feel a really nice squeeze in the chest right here. So you're just holding it for a few seconds, let it go back out, and then back in, out, and then in like that. And that's just to warm up the chest muscle. And then if you feel anything that doesn't feel quite right, then maybe you don't want to do this kind of workout today, and you might want to give it a rest, the upper body. But you're just going in, squeezing the chest, and then out like that. So then we're going to do that on both sides. So I'm just going to turn around the other side, and then arm slight bend in the elbow, and then you just bring in the arm across. Now you want to make sure that you're about 90 degrees to the band with your arm, and then just a slight bend, retract the shoulder first, and then bring the upper arm across. Think of the upper arm, not the hand. So you don't want to do this as much, although you still will feel it in the chest doing it that way. But just a slight bend, and then bringing it across like that. So a few more, and then the rest there. And then what we're going to do is just some bicep curls and tricep extension. So we're just warming up the elbows, because sometimes when you're doing any kind of row or press, then you might, if your elbows are not really warmed up too much and your triceps and biceps are not quite warmed up, then you might feel some joint clicking and some issues in those joints. So you're just really extending the triceps, squeezing the tricep, extending the arm, and then flexing the arm, keeping the elbow underneath the shoulder. So you're just squeezing at the top, and then down, squeezing at the bottom. And then the last one is you're just doing a wrist extension. So for this one, the reason why we're doing this is because if you're doing a push-up from the ground, then you want to make sure that you have 90 degrees of wrist extension. So as you can see with me, that's as much as I can bring my wrist back, and you want to make sure you're going in the plane of so see this, the plane of my wrist here, you want to extend in that plane. So I can only really go back a really small amount, and it's the same on both sides for my wrist. So for me to do a push-up from the ground with my hands flat on the ground, it's going to be not optimal, and I'm going to have to compensate to sort of do the exercise. So one way in which you can get around that is by using push-up handles or using hex dumbbells to hold so that you're keeping your wrist in a more neutral position. Okay, so that's more important for the next exercise and the next series of exercises. But for the first set of exercises, what we're going to do is a floor press. So I'm going to show you that really quickly. So all you need is a mat for this. So you're going to lie on your back. And then what I've got is I've got two sets of weights. I've got a heavy pair and a light pair. So what we're going to do for the first, or even for a quick warm-up, which you can follow me with for this, is use the light pair. So you just bicep curl the dumbbells up, and then you're going to start with the arms straight, and then as you're going down, you're just going to squeeze the shoulders together. Keep the shoulders right together. So you're doing that scapular retraction motion that we just did, and then you're bringing the elbow across and squeezing the chest to the top. So squeezing the shoulders to the bottom. As you come up, you're doing the same motion that we did with the band just a minute ago, where you're trying to bring the elbow across with the shoulders squeezed together. So you're trying to find that squeeze in the chest. And then again, squeeze the shoulders, and then bring the elbow across, trying to lock the elbow, but not let the shoulder blades go around the ribs, and then back down again. So we're going to do that for 50 seconds. Then just bring the dumbbells onto your knees, and then put them to the side. And then we're going to go into a single arm row. So I would suggest using a chair for this, so you can just hold onto the edge of the chair, and this allows you, when you do it like this, it stops you from, because if you place your hand on your wrist like that, then again, if you don't have much extension in the wrist, it can bother your wrist itself. So if you just hold on the edge like that, then you're just out of extension a little bit. And then for this exercise, you're doing it in an arc, so you're going backwards and up, keeping a straight back. So grab the dumbbell, so you're keeping a nice neutral back, and then you're going back and up, and then squeezing at the top. Hold for a second or two, and then slowly back, and then finishing underneath the shoulder. And then back and up, squeeze the shoulders together, and then slowly down again. So we're going to do that again for 50 seconds each side. So we're going to do one round for each side. The main thing with this one is to make sure that when you row, you're not rotating as you're doing it. So you're keeping the chest perpendicular to the ground or parallel to the ground as you're rowing up, so you're not doing that at the same time. And then the last exercise, we're going to do a dumbbell tricep extension on the mat again. So we're going to go back onto the floor and then grab the light dumbbells. So if you have an even lighter pair, then you might want to use that for this exercise, because it's going to be a lot harder compared to the chest press. So for this one, you want to make sure that the elbows are pointing straight ahead, and then you're just slowly curling the weight down and then extending. The main thing with this is to make sure that the elbows stay tucked in and that they keep facing forwards as you bend. And this is quite a challenging exercise. Now, it can also be a little bit stressful on your elbows as well, so you want to be a bit careful with that. If you feel it in the joint a lot, then one alternative that you could do is a tricep kickback. So if you have either band or a light pair of dumbbells, then you can do this kind of a tricep kickback where you're stepping on the band like this, and then you extend the arm, and then you extend the triceps, or extend the arm. So extend the upper arm and then extend the lower arm like that. Now you could also do the supine tricep extension with a band as well. So if you have something to hook your band around, you could do it on the ground like this. I'll show you quickly. So you hook it around here, and then if you grab the mats, and then you can do it this way as well. So you would grab the band from behind you, and then you have to make sure you're further enough away from it. So keep the elbows in and then extend like that. And this is going to feel a lot better on your elbows than a dumbbell would, because the direction of the force is completely different to a dumbbell, where the dumbbell is going straight down, and this one, the force is going straight back almost. So that's another alternative you can do if you find the dumbbell version is not great for your joints. Okay, so we're going to do 2 rounds in total, 50 seconds work followed by 15 seconds of rest. So make sure you got everything set up, and we are going to start in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So we're going to lie on the ground first. We're starting with the dumbbell floor press. So I'm going to do the heavier weight this time, which to make sure I get in the right place. You have to be careful lifting it up, and if you're using heavy weight, then you have to really, it's a bit harder to get it in place, particularly for a floor press. So squeezing the shoulders together first, slowly out to the side, pause, and then elbow across like that. So keeping it nice and smooth, up and down, squeezing the shoulders right together. Keep them back as you bring the elbow across, finding that squeeze in the chest. That's it. Same sort of tempo, so slowly up, slowly down. Okay, and then that's it. So you bring them to the knees, particularly if you're using heavy ones, and then to the side like that. And then we're gonna go into the single arm row next in 3 seconds. So I'm gonna use the heavy weight as well. So again, wrist on the edge of the chair, grab the dumbbell, and then you're going out, back and up, squeezing the top. That's it. Pause, make sure you're really pausing. Keep a nice neutral back. That's it. 20, just over 20 seconds. So just think of going in an arc, backwards and up. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. That's it, good. And rest there. So shake it out a little bit, and then we're gonna do the other side. So it's exactly the same thing on the other side. So you're just gonna switch over a little bit. So you're gonna put your other hand on the edge of the chair, and then grab the dumbbell. And let's go. So you're going back and up, squeezing at the top. Making sure you keep a nice neutral back the whole time. Pause, and then slowly down. Back and up, pause. That's it. Try not to rest too much at the bottom. You're going straight back up again. That's it. 10 seconds. Last few reps. And rest there. Okay, good. And then we're going to go into the tricep extension. So you're going to bring the other dumbbell back, ready for the floor press again. So we're going to go onto the floor. So you put a bicep curl the way up, and then you start with the arms extended. Keep the elbows forward, slowly curl down, and then extend. Again, as I said, you could do the banded version if the dumbbell version doesn't feel as good. That's it. Keeping the elbows as still as possible. One of the common things with this is that people bend the elbow forward, which is still going to be okay. You're still going to feel it in the tricep, but you feel it a lot more isolated if you go keep the elbow still, go backwards, elbows in, and extend, and rest there. So just bring the dumbbells down, and then just slowly let them go down to the ground. The problem with being on the floor is it's hard to get in position a bit more. So a few seconds rest, then we're going to go back to the floor press. So you have to, the tricky thing is getting heavy dumbbells into position. And let's go. So elbows straight out to the side, squeeze the shoulders together, and then elbow across. That's it. Pause at the bottom if you can, and then just drive the elbow across. Just don't think of punching the way up. Just think bringing the arm across the body. Find that squeeze in the chest. That's it, good. A few more seconds. And rest there. So make sure, I wouldn't do it like that if you're using quite heavy weight. So just be careful when you bring the weight down when you're on the floor. So we're going back to the single arm row. So with one of the dumbbells, so wrist on the edge again, and then rowing back and up, squeezing at the top. So keep a nice straight back. Pause, and then slowly down. Row back and up, pause, and then down. 25 seconds. Good, that's it. 10 seconds. One more. Good. It's quite a bit harder with these fat grips. 50 pounds by itself is pretty hard anyway, but when you use a fatter grip, it's definitely harder. So 3 seconds, and we're going back to the other side. Okay, let's go. So feet right back. So you want to kind of both of them back, slight bend in the elbows or in the legs, and then you're rowing back and up, squeezing at the top, and then slowly down again. That's it. Trying to keep your spine and trunk still as much as you can. The trouble is, if you use a heavy weight, it's quite hard to do that. Ooh. And the grip as well. And rest there. Good job. Okay, so last one on the tricep extension. Now I'd recommend doing this for another round if you have the time, for sure, because two is fine when you first do it, but after doing it 1 or 2 times, you'll want to do it more than two rounds. So keep the elbows pointing straight ahead, and then slowly carrying the weight, and then extend. Sit. Keep the elbows as still as possible. Good. It's getting hard. Okay, that's it. So ideally bring them to the knees and then bring them forward like that. That's the best way of doing it. Then you can bring them to the side. Okay, so that is the end of this first little sequence. We've got a little break, and then we're going to start with the next series of exercises, which is going to be following a similar format. We're going to do anterior upper body, a row, and some bicep and tricep. So I'll see you in a second. All right, guys, welcome back to the second series of exercises. So for this round, what we're going to do is an elbows in push-up is the first exercise. So I'm going to quickly show you that. So you might want some a mat for your knees. I'm not using it for me, but you might need that. So there's a couple of options for this one. And what you want to do is to set up. So if you're using a dumbbell or push-up handles, then you want to set them so they're in the same plane as your body and about shoulder width apart. And then if you're doing a knee push-up, which is the easier version, You want to make sure your hip is fully extended, and then as you're going down, you're keeping the elbows in, and it's going to feel like you're going forwards a bit as you go down, because what you want to make sure at the bottom that the elbow stays over the wrist. Now you don't want to do it like this, because then this will become, that probably won't feel as good on your elbows, versus doing it where you're going forward and back, and this arm stays more vertical. So this is going to be a lot more tricep. So if your arms are a bit tired from doing the tricep extensions in the previous round, you could do an elbows out version like that. So we're going to do that, and then we're going into a bent over lateral raise. So you're going to grab 2 dumbbells. So you need a light pair for this one. So you're going to push, you're keeping the hips shoulder width apart, or hip width apart, sorry. Push the hips back, and then out to the side, squeeze the shoulders at the top, and then slowly down again. So that's for the mid back and the scapular retractors. And then we're going to go into a dumbbell bicep curl, standing. So nice tall posture, dumbbells by your side, keep the elbows and shoulders squeezed together, and then you're just curling the top, pause, keep the elbows back, and then slowly back down again. That's for exercise number 3. And then number 4 is another tricep exercise, tricep kickback. So again, you're going to be in a bent over position, so push the hips right back, keep the spine neutral, and then you're extending the upper arm and then extending the elbow and pausing at the top. Now if the weight's too heavy for this, you could be a bit more upright and then do it this way, and it'll be a bit easier. So that's the 4 exercises that we're going to do. So we're going to start that. So again, you'll need more of a lighter pair and a heavier pair. You'll need a really light pair, maybe for the lateral raise, maybe 2.5 to 5 pounds, or 7.5 is what I'm using, and maybe around 15 to 20 or 10 for the other ones. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So we're starting with the elbows in push-up first. So again, orientate them so they're in the same plane as your body, shoulder width apart. Then you're going down, squeeze the shoulders together, and then driving back up. You're keeping the elbow pits facing forwards the whole time, only just a little bit wider. And then as you're going down, you're going forwards a bit, squeeze the shoulders together, and drive back up. Again, if it's too hard doing a full version, you can do it from the knees. And if you want to make it even harder than the full version, you can elevate the legs. So squeeze the shoulders down, drive back up. Nice and slow on the way down, and slow on the way up. And rest there. And then we're going to the dumbbell lateral raise. So grab the light pair this time. So I'm using 7.5. You might only want like 5 or 2.5, depending on your strength for this. So you're going to keep your hips or legs hip width apart, push the hips back, and then slight bend in the elbow. And you're trying to drive from the shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulders together, pause at the top, and then slowly back. Now you could also do this with a band as well. You just stick the band underneath your feet and then grab on both sides, and then you're just bringing it out to the side like that. There's a slight bend in the elbow and driving from the shoulders. So you're just trying to bring the shoulder blades right together, pause at the top, and slowly back. 15 seconds. That's it. 5. 1 more. And good. And then we've got the bicep curl for number 3. So grab the heavier weight this time. This is going to be quite challenging actually. So keep the shoulders back, curling at the top, and then slowly down. Pause. Nice and controlled on the way down. That's it. Good. Slow on the way down. Good, keep going. Hard with the fat grips on this one. Okay, and then we're going to do the tricep extension again with a light pair again. So same position as the bent over lateral raise. You're just pushing the hips right back so you feel your hamstrings. Keep a neutral spine. Extend the arm, or extend the upper arm, and then extend the elbow. Pause at the top. So keep the elbows still as much as you can. That's it. Pause, and then slowly back. So you're keeping the elbow straight back. You don't want to let the arm turn in like that. So you keep the elbows pointing straight up, and then you'll get more activation of the tricep long head. Particularly if you keep fully extended. And rest there. Good job. Okay, so then we're going back to the elbows in push-up for the next exercise. We've got one more round to go. Now I would suggest, as I said, with the other one, if we have time, do a third round, depending on how you feel. All right, let's go. So again, the hands are going to be shoulder width apart, slowly going down, squeeze the shoulders together, and then drive back up. Keep the elbows back for this as well. So this is going to again be more of a tricep exercise. If your triceps are done, then you can just bring them out to the side a bit more, like this, and do a more traditional push-up. This will be more chest focused. So you could do it that way. Otherwise, bring it back to this orientation, and then you can do more triceps. So this is a bit more like a dip, preparing you for a dip. Few more seconds, and rest there. Good job. Okay, so then back to the bent over lateral raise. So grab the light pair again. So push the hips right back. Keep a nice straight back. So you want to keep as the chest as upright as possible so the back stays straight. And then slide in the elbow out to the side. Pause at the top. That's it. Squeezing the shoulders together. Good. Pause, and then slowly back. 25 seconds. Should be tough. You should feel this mostly in the middle of the shoulder, in between the shoulder blades, but also you might feel it in the posterior deltoid as well. 10 seconds. Keep the chest up, neutral spine. And rest there. Okay, and then we've got the bicep curl next. Just shake the arms out a little bit. A few more seconds. So back to the bicep curl. This is going to be pretty hard. So squeeze the shoulders together and then curl the way up. Pause the top. Keep it nice and upright. And also keep your hips back. Sometimes people end up leaning forward like that too much. You don't want to, with their hips that is. You want to try and avoid that as much as possible. So you're squeezing your abs. Pause, slowly back. Slowly down, 15 seconds. Good job. And then the last one, tricep kickback. So a few more seconds. So again, with this one, same thing as the bent over lateral raise or bent over reverse fly. You're just pushing the hips right back And then you're going to extend the arms this time, and then extend the forearms with the elbow. Pause at the top. And again, if you want to make it a bit easier, then you just become a bit more upright. And if you just do kind of a less range like this, it's still challenging the triceps when you're fully extended, but it's going to be easier. But if not, if it's not too difficult, then bend forward as much as you can. Squeeze the top, and then slowly back. This is training the triceps in a slightly different way to the other ones we've been doing, because you're in an extended position as well. And rest there. Okay, good job guys. So that is the end of this little workout, this upper body workout. Let me know what you think by commenting and subscribing below. And as always, remember to be your best you guys, and look out for future videos to come in the future.
The Body Engineers.